Do you feel that your home is surrounded by a heavy atmosphere? How if there is something invisible draining your peace, sucking your strength, and locking your days? You may have already prayed, cried, expected, and yet it seems that nothing changes. But today, something supernatural is moving in your favor. And it's not an exaggeration, it's a promise. This message is not just a word of encouragement. It is a prophetic announcement. God will visit your home today. A visit that brings healing, transformation, and response. A divine intervention that breaks chains, soothes storms, and renews destinations. Archangel Michael has already been sent. The impossible is being touched by the sky. Get ready, what seemed standing will move. What seemed dead will revive. And what seemed forgotten, God has just remembered. Today is no longer any day. It is the beginning of a new time on your home, your history, your faith. Stay with me to the end, because every word you will hear here can be the key that will open a door that had been locked for a long time. Today is not an ordinary day. There is a spiritual movement happening behind the scenes of your life. God's intervention is not scheduled for weeks or months from now. She started now. The sky has already moved toward him, and Archangel Michael is in action with the jar, bringing an answer that his heart no longer expected. When God decides to intervene, neither time nor circumstances can prevent. You may think everything is too quiet, but it is exactly in this silence that heavenly action manifests itself more strongly. Often God does not make a boost, he acts in the invisible and then reveals the miracle in the visible. This divine visit to your home is like a breeze that comes before the rain. You haven't seen everything yet, but you might feel that something has changed in the air. His promise is clear, cry to me, and answer you, Jeremiah 33:3. And he responds with providence, healing, reconciliation, with miracles. And do you know that little detail that only you and God know? He is dealing with it now. The answer is coming, as only the sky knows how to do it. Imagine a sealed envelope being opened before the throne of God. His name is there. His prayer was read. His cry was heard. And the answer will not be delayed. Nothing can stop what has already been released in the heavens. Neither people, nor environments, nor the past. When God decides to act, he does completely. Maybe you think your faith is too small to receive something so great. But God does not depend on the size of his faith. He acts according to the size of his promise. And when he says, I'm going to visit your house, this is not a metaphor, it's real action. Wait for something that causes astonishment even on you. Get ready, because what is coming is not symbolic, it's literal. People will realize. Environments will change. And you will witness with your own eyes what it means to be achieved by immediate divine intervention. And this is only the introduction of what the sky will still reveal. There are battles that you don't even know you are facing, and yet you are winning. Do you know why? Because someone is fighting for you behind the scenes of the invisible. Archangel Michael, commander of the heavenly armies, is already in a war position. And his mission is clear: to protect what is yours by divine promise and ensure that no arrow of the enemy thrives. When evil rises, God does not cross his arms. He sends Michael with a fire sword, surrounding his home, his mind, and everything that is important to you. Even if you don't see it, his presence is real. That's why you're still standing. Because while you rest, or even get discouraged, there is a battle being overcome in your favor. Remember that situation that seemed armed to knock you down and suddenly turned to you? This was no coincidence, it was angelic action. Michael intercepted darkness plans and turned the game before you noticed. God does not need his strength, he just needs his confidence. And Michael operates in this environment of faith. Not every fight is yours to fight. Some God simply takes to himself. And when he sends Michael, it is because the victory has already been decreed in heaven. You are not unprotected. The enemy may try, but will never cross the boundaries the Lord has set around him. Whatever the pressure, attack, or affliction you are facing now, take a deep breath and remember there is a spiritual warrior in your favor. And he doesn't retreat. He defends with divine authority and wins with heavenly strategy. Nothing escapes control of the Supreme Commander. This war is not yours, it is of God. And the defender he sent knows exactly how to act. While you pray, Miguel Guerrilla. While you love it, it advances. And while you trust, it wins spiritual territories that will guarantee you peace in the natural. And still comes more. God knows every detail of your home. He sees the words untold, the hidden wounds, the heavy silences that accumulate in the environment. But today, he declares peace will reign again in his family. What seemed broken beyond repair, he will restore. And it won't be patch, it will be something new, whole, and full of meaning. Family is God's project. And when something threatens this project, the sky comes into action. Often, the greatest wars happen indoors between siblings, parents and children, couples, but God is visiting these bonds with mercy. What was wounded by hurts will be healed by forgiveness. And this healing begins with you saying, Lord, do your will in here. Sometimes we hope the other will change, but the miracle begins within us. How about today you are the first to give in, the first to forgive? Small actions, such as an unexpected hug or a prayer aloud in the room, can be the starting point for transformation. Because when God acts, he begins with small cracks. Perhaps someone in your family is far, physically or emotionally, but God specializes in reconnecting what has been lost. He is already opening ways, breaking pride, and blowing words of reconciliation. What seemed impossible, a call, a conversation, a reunion, will happen before what you think. And if there are diseases, physical or emotional diseases within your home, receive that word. Cure is entering the door of your home. God is restoring not only bodies but hearts. Integers will be living witnesses of divine intervention, and the peace that exceeds all understanding will come true. Do not underestimate what God can do in your family. The environment that today seems heavy, cold, or divided will be the scene of surprising testimonies. And this new time, marked by restoration and reconciliation, will become part of its history. And there is still more coming. What you found lost forever, God is bringing back in a way you never imagined. Because what is impossible for you is not even difficult for him. Heaven is not limited to what the eyes see or what logic explains. When God decides to act, until what he died, it can be resurrected, and that includes dreams, relationships, projects, and even his hope. Do you remember something you have already given up? A plan that was behind, a promise that seemed forgotten, an area of life that became a desert? For no, God has not forgotten. What's more, he is taking exactly these areas to show his glory. It's like he said, see what I can do with what you think was already. Nothing is too far to be restored. And no matter how long it has been, time does not limit God. The transformation begins when you choose to believe again. Perhaps the first step today is just to pray with faith, even without seeing anything yet. Because faith is the bridge between the invisible and the inevitable. The impossible is the Lord's favorite terrain to perform miracles. He has already opened seas, has already knocked down walls, has already made manna fall from the sky. And do you really think he can't restore what you have lost? Heavenly action is already underway, and what was once pain will become testimony. If you feel that you have wasted time, God is able to redeem until the years wasted. Joel 2:25 says, I will restore you the years that have been consumed. This goes for opportunities, inner peace, divine connections. What seemed buried, he has unearthed. What seemed final is just a start. So even if everything says otherwise, believe me, the impossible is being touched by invisible hands. And when God transforms something, he does so well that it doesn't even look like one day has been injured. Get ready to smile again to see the impossible come true, and still comes later. There are times when the sky decides to show signs that no one can ignore. And you are about to live miracles so concrete that even those who doubted will recognize that it was God. He is changing the season of his life. Spiritual winter is ending. What was cold, dark, and lifeless is giving way to a spring of answers, flowering, and fresh start. You may have been asking for a sign for a long time, and now God is saying, look around, because it has begun. One detail here, a door opening there, a relief in the chest, and unexpected news. All of this is evidence of the new time that is emerging. And he doesn't want you to just realize it, he wants you to embrace this new with faith. Do you know that feeling of being stuck in a cycle that never changes? God is breaking this cycle today. There is a change in the spiritual climate. It's like opening the window and feeling that the air is different. You already wake up with another mood, and even the people around you begin to comment that there is something different in you. This is miracle in motion. Do not think that it is coincidence if the doors start to open naturally. This is an ancient prayer answer, released at the exact time. God never delayed. He acts at a time when your heart is ready to endure the blessing without getting lost. And this season is not only of blessings, it is of maturity too. The change of station requires a new posture. What worked in the time of scarcity no longer serves in harvest time. Get ready to walk on a new level of faith. Abandon the cover of suffering and seize the cloak of promise. Because now it's time to live, not just survive. And all this is just the beginning. What your eyes will confirm that God's hand has always been with you, even when it seemed absent. The light after the darkness arrived, and this light will illuminate the way to even larger miracles that are coming. Your life is not a random story. It was written by the Creator's hands with details you don't even imagine yet. Every tear that fell, every prayer made in silence, every step of faith in the midst of fear, everything is recorded. And nothing was in vain. You are living a trajectory that carries an eternal purpose. There is a book in heaven, and your name is there. It is not written with ordinary paint, but with promises God Himself has declared about you. And when He writes, He fulfills. It doesn't matter if there was deviations on the way, if you fell or were forgotten. God does not erase stories, He redeems, and even transforms the mistakes into chapters of victory. Get ready to live a time when your own testimony will speak louder than any argument. People who no longer believed in you will hear your account and will say, God could do that only. And this is exactly the plan. Let His name be glorified through your journey. You were not born to be an extra in your life. There is a call over you. And even if everything has tried to silence His voice, God is reactivating His destiny. You are not what they told you, you are what the sky wrote. And if it is written by God, no one can erase. Begin to declare this with authority. My life has direction, my story makes sense, and my testimony will be complete. Because every time you act with faith, you confirm what the sky has already decreed. And every step of yours, however small, is a movement towards the fulfillment of what is written. And the most powerful of all is to know that, at the end of each proof, God will still use you to lift others. Your testimony will be key to unlocking paths of those who come later. Your destination is sealed by the hands that never fail, and the next chapter is already being released. No more walking in circles. God is putting an end in the mental and spiritual confusion that has paralyzed you. He is releasing clarity over His next steps. What seemed blurred, aimlessly, will take shape and direction. It's not just time to survive, it's time to walk with purpose. Have you ever felt you were living on autopilot? Waking up, doing tasks, but not knowing why all this? Because this time is ending. God will show you that every detail of your routine can become a mission. Nothing will be waste when you understand your purpose. The first step is to ask for wisdom. And James 1:5 promises that those who ask, receive and receive in abundance. God wants to lead you to decisions that bring you closer to your plan, not that they move you away. Enough of choices based on fear, hurry, or pressure from others. Peace will be the referee of your decisions going forward. And no, you don't need a full map. You just need to trust the next step that God is showing you now. It can be simple, such as sending a message, forgiving someone, changing the environment, or even resting. The important thing is to listen and obey, even if it makes no sense at the beginning. The answers you sought in so many places were actually within the presence of God. And now that He's visiting you, everything changes. The heart that was once anxious will calm down. The mind that was overloaded will organize. And what was doubtful will become certain. From here, you will realize that each movement has one why. That each action has weight in the sky. You are being realized with your original purpose. And the clarity that is coming not only will set you free, it will also position you to live bigger things that are yet to be revealed. In the middle of the desert, where there is no source or apparent exit, God proves who He is, the provider that never fails. It does not depend on favorable circumstances or human structures. When he decides to take care of you, even the unlikely becomes the way. It was like this with manna in the desert, and still therefore today. You may be facing a time of scarcity, whether emotional, financial, or spiritual. But this scarcity is not sentence. It is a scenario for miracle. The desert that looked like an end, God will use as a starting point. He sustains you with meat in dusk and fresh bread in the morning. God's provision does not fail, it only surprises. Learn to trust even when the sky seems silent. Many times God does not show the source before you take the step. But the moment you advance by faith, it reveals the hidden well. Obedience always precedes the miracle. So keep marching even if the floor still looks dry. And if you have bills to pay, urgent needs, or pressures knocking on the door, breathe. God is taking care of every detail. Him's provision is not just cash, it comes in ideas, connections, unexpected doors. Sometimes a simple yes can put you on the way where everything changes. He provides his way, and at the right time. You don't have to wear out trying to be your own livelihood. There is a Father who cares, that acts. And when you recognize this, a supernatural rest surrounds you. It is not about giving up responsibility, it is about letting God occupy the place of provider that has always been Da. And this care will not stop here. He has supported you here, and will continue to support. But now, it will no longer be with the minimum, it will be abundant. Because those who cross the desert with faith experience the feast they expect from the other side. And the next table is already being prepared. You already felt that something bad was about to happen, but in the end nothing happened? This has a name: divine protection. Many God's deliverances are invisible, silent, but extremely effective. You don't see what was prevented, but you feel the relief of something you didn't reach you. This is Archangel Michael on mission. It is the sky building walls that hell cannot cross. No matter how many traps are placed on the way, no forged gun will prosper. It's promise. The security that comes from God does not depend on cameras, locks, or human strength. She is spiritual. It is supernatural. And when he decrees, no one touches, nor the enemy himself dares to approach. You may have gone through dangerous places, facing toxic environments, lived with people with bad intentions, and yet it is here, whole. This is not luck. It is God's hand shielding your life. And this protection goes beyond the physical. It involves your mind, your emotions, your decisions. God has already sent Miguel to protect his home. There is an invisible fence around yours, and nothing will penetrate this shield without his permission. When you pray, trust, and deliver, you trigger a kind of security that no evil strength can break. And this is the true rest, to know that the sky is in guard. Stop living in a state of constant warning, as if everything were to crumble at any moment. When you are hiding in God, even bad news are transformed into deliverances. He not only keeps you, he teaches you to live in peace while keeping. It is like living in a fortress with windows open to the sky. And this security is not temporary, it is continuous. With each new day, new walls form around you. As long as you sleep, the skies sail for you. As you walk, angels walk beside you. And there is still more revelations coming. Do you know those prayers you said long ago and even forgot? God did not forget. It archives each cry accurately and responds at the right time and in ways you would never imagine. Sometimes the answer comes as silence, but it is not negation, it is preparation. And when you finally arrive, you understand it was in the exact time. God's answer does not always follow the way we expect. It can be disguised as a meeting, opportunity, change of route. Sometimes it even comes as a no that delivers you from something worse. The important thing is to know if it came from it. That's right. It's not improvisation, it's heaven's strategy. There are times when God surprises with such specific details that you are thrilled just realizing he heard exactly what I said. It can be a word that someone releases unknowingly, a verse that jumps into their eyes, a solution where there seemed to be no way out. God responds with surgical accuracy. Therefore, it does not underestimate the small signs. A phone call, a turnaround at work, a sudden mood change in someone, all this can be God answering you unusually. And when he responds, it is to transform, not just calm down. He acts to change the course, not only to give comfort. Get ready to live days when you will say, This can only have been God. The answer will be so exact, so punctual, so surprising, that you won't be able to keep for you. It will become testimony, and it will impact other lives. Because heaven's answers come complete, without a margin of doubt. And that was just the last piece that was missing. Now, what seemed meaningless begins to fit in. God was writing a story, sowing details, and you are about to see the full picture. The answer has come, and with her, a new time is beginning. After all you have read, tell me sincerely, are you ready to allow God to really visit your home? Because this visit is not symbolic. It is deep, transformative, and full of purpose. But it only happens where there is space. And sometimes this space needs to be opened with a simple attitude of faith, such as a sincere prayer or a step of obedience. What has prevented you to rely on completely? Was it the fear, the weight, the tiredness? Reflect on this, because God has already moved. Archangel Michael is already in battle. The provision has already been released. Now, it is you who need to take this new season with courage. Nothing changes if you continue the same way, but everything can change with a simple yes. And here is the invitation: share this message with someone who also needs to live this divine intervention. Because when the sky visits a house, the impact extends. Your story may be the key to unlocking someone's miracle, and his testimony, the confirmation that someone else is waiting to believe again. If you felt that word went to you, leave here in the comments what said most to your heart. Let's form a chain of faith and testimonies. This is how the light spreads. This is how the purpose is strengthened. And this is how the sky finds space to act, day after day. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to continue receiving messages that are not just videos, they are touches of God in your life. And remember, this divine visit is just the beginning of what heaven will still reveal about you.